Inside a dorm at night, high school student Yi Lan lies shivering in bed, feeling terribly sick. He has a severe cold and decides to go to the clinic before it worsens. Suddenly, he feels a presence by his window and instantly thinks it's the rumored female ghost who wanders their dorm past midnight. They say she used to be a student at their school, and due to a bad breakup, she hung herself in the male dorm. Lan frets, thinking he should have gone home sooner. He wasn't able to board the bus as tickets were sold out since it's the holidays. At the moment, he's the only person inside the dorm building. Lan continues to feel awful and thinks it's not the time to be scared of the supernatural as he might just die from his fever. Determined to go to the clinic, Lan walks wobbly, feeling dizzy, before collapsing in a heap. Miserable, he wonders if there's going to be another ghost story of a student who died from a fever in the dorm. Suddenly, a specter shows up before him. It's the female ghost who asks him if he has seen her rope. Lan is unfazed and only wonders if she'll possess him. Just then, he finds the idea of possession appealing. He wants her to possess him so she can control him to go to the clinic and get himself cured. She grabs the ghost's garments, begging her to possess him, which weirds out the ghost. She unconvincingly tries her scary routine again. Upon reaching her, he hugs her, feeling relief at her coldness. The ghost pushes him off and gets scandalized that he's not wearing pants. She runs while Lan scarily chases after her. He manages to reach her, but his hand unexpectedly enters her back, and suddenly, he's submerged in cold water. When he wakes up, he's confused about what happened and happens to pass by a mirror. Upon glancing over, he screams upon seeing the female ghost. Lan pauses, feeling something is not right. He stares at the mirror and thinks that it should be his face he is seeing since the ghost is possessing his body. He's confused about why he has the appearance of the ghost instead. He addresses his reflection, and the ghost who's inside the mirror is stunned. He tells her not to be shy and assures her that he's a nice person, but it only earns him an unimpressed look from her. When he requests that they talk face to face, he spills out of her. Instantly, he feels sick again. He requests the ghost to possess him and send his body to the clinic. When he jumps on her, he's back in the water before waking in the ghost's body. Somehow, he hears the ghost say she'll get his body to the clinic, which makes him so grateful that he promises to get a monk so she can cross over peacefully. In the meantime, Lan explores the school with the ghost's body, enjoying how he can phase through walls and float instead of walking. He's having fun so much that he considers asking the ghost to possess him more often. Outside, he hears a lady's voice, which leads him to the woody area of the school. Lan is stunned. Before him is Yu, the beautiful owner of the store inside their campus, and she's being held down by a man, who she addresses as headmaster. While she meekly asks him to stop, Lan can't believe that the respectable headmaster Liu would do something like this. He's about to take a picture of what's happening when somebody taps his shoulder, telling him he's crossing the line. Surprised, he turns angrily to scold the stranger but freezes when he sees another ghost with a large knife on his head. Screaming, he punches the guy and sends him hurtling away. Lan is surprised at the strength that he has. The headmaster hears the noise they're making and demands that whoever's out there come out. Candidly, Lan shows himself and says that he just got rid of a ghost. The woman screams at the sight of him before fainting on the spot. The man, seemingly recognizing him, pales and calls him Kyo Xiomen. The headmaster begs him to let him go and admits that he was wrong. He says he didn't expect her to hang herself and that he regretted what happened. Just then, the female ghost, Kyo Xiomen, takes over her body and tells Liu that she died without justice and blames him. Lan, who's surprised that she took control, slaps the headmaster many times to test if he can move. The headmaster reminds Xiaomin of what happened and the revenge she's already exacted on the two guys who violated her. Liu scrambles to say that he never wanted her dead and that all he did was cover up the news since the school will get in trouble if everything is revealed. He blames his bosses, saying he was helpless as they won't promote him if he didn't expel her for reporting to the police. Lan is disgusted by what he heard and believes it's the headmaster's fault that the ghost committed suicide. Taeyomin responds that though she's already dead, she still carries the bad reputation of committing suicide because she messed around with guys. She then menacingly asks him what his reputation would be like if he died that night. Lan thinks that the headmaster deserves death, but he pities Yu, who's sure to get into trouble if Liu dies. Recalling how nice she was, Lan convinces Taeyomin not to kill Liu, but instead have the old man surrender himself to the police so the female ghost's reputation will be cleared. She listens to him and commands Liu to turn himself in. However, he refuses, making Xiaomin and Lan angry. Lan thinks of punishing the headmaster with a rope and gets surprised when the ghost conjures one. She chokes the old man with the rope, but Lan implores that she doesn't kill him. The ghost lets go of the rope, giving Liu one last chance. She promises to end him if he won't clear her reputation. She then says that if it weren't for her master, she wouldn't have stopped choking him. Lan, who's surprised, wonders if he's the master that the Xiaomin was talking about. As Liu runs away, Lan tells her that they should monitor where the man will go. When she agrees with him, he's surprised that she can talk to him. She then reveals that because Lan entered her body, he has full control. She can neither talk to him nor control her body unless she has permission from him. Lan gets confused as it should be that the ghost is possessing and not the other way around, and she replies that if that was the case, then their appearance should be that of Lan's instead of hers. Lan is bewildered, wondering if it's possible to possess a ghost. While the headmaster runs, Lan, who's currently in control of the ghost's body, is about to follow him when he realizes that Yu is still out cold on the ground. As he doesn't want to leave her there, Xiaomin suggests that he carry her. He then hoists her up while appreciating how curvy Yu's body is. Later, when Liu stops to rest, Lan spooks him by blowing air on his nape. The terrified man runs again, screaming, making Lan laugh. Suddenly, they're stopped by two ghostly men, and among them is the ghost with a knife on his head. The larger ghost, Hua, is angry at the female ghost for beating up his friend. He moves to attack him, wanting to teach the female ghost who's the boss. But Lan is unfazed. He strikes first, but Hua manages to evade. Furious, the thug-looking ghost punches him, but he hardly feels any pain. Lan slaps his opponent so hard that he soars through the night sky. He smugly looks at the other ghost, who's sweating buckets, before sending him toward the moon. Xiaomin compliments his strength, and feeling bashful, he replies that it's the enemies that are weak. However, she reveals that Hua is powerful and even has the potential of a Soul King. A punch from him would have eviscerated her chances of leaving the world. When he asks her what she means, she explains that for a soul to leave the world, someone fetches them and brings them somewhere else. Lan is shocked, as that would mean many souls are roaming the world currently, to which she replies that only those who have deep grievances would come in contact with humans. He then muses out loud that her grievances will disappear. The headmaster turns himself in, which she confirms, saying she'll regain her freedom. Quickly, they run after the old man. At the police station, Liu yells for help, saying there's a ghost after him. The policeman doesn't see a ghost anywhere, but the headmaster spots Xiaomin through the windows. Lan, who's unsure what to do next, wonders if they should hide, but Xiaomin tells him that they don't have to, as she can choose who can see her and who can't. Liu becomes more anxious, saying the ghost is right outside the door, but the officers don't see anything, and they start to wonder if there's something wrong with his head. They try to make him calm down, saying that the police station, as a law enforcement agency, has strong yang energy, so ghosts wouldn't dare enter the building. Surprisingly, the female ghost confirms that what the officer is saying is true. Normally, they won't dare get close, but since Lan possessed her, it seems that she's lost her fear. He asks her what she thinks of him, if he's a human or a ghost, and she replies that he's neither. Disappointed at her answer, he then proceeds to scare Liu, who can only hug the policeman in panic. With the rope that Xiaomin conjured, she chokes and threatens to kill Liu if he continues to lie. Terrified, he finally spills the truth about what happened to Xiaomin to the police. Knowing that the revelation is huge, the police hurry to inform their department head. Lan leaves with a smile, happy that Xiaomin's reputation will be cleared. Even if the headmaster won't end up in jail, his life is already ruined. Lan feels amazing having done a good deed. After depositing Yu at her home, Lan thinks of how much fun he had that night. Just when he thinks about groping the unconscious woman a little, he falls out of Xiaomin's ghost body. Instantly, he feels feverish again. Xiaomin profusely thanks him for what he's done for her and promises to repay him. He tries to lighten the mood when he notices that her appearance has changed. The darkness left Xiaomin, revealing a smiling, pretty girl. Xiaomin exclaims, happy that she's regained her original looks, while Lan remains stunned at her beauty. She thanks him again while holding his hand, which makes him shy. He promises to take care of her, before imagining a sweet romance between the two of them. However, his fantasies are shattered when she tells him that she can't be with him. She has a feeling that she's going to leave soon. Dismayed, Lan reminds her of her words, that someone is supposed to pick her up so she can leave the world and be sent to another location. She replies that she's just suddenly had the feeling and that it could be related to how her grievances were resolved, which makes Lan sulk. Suddenly, Xiaomin senses that it's time for her to ascend, making Lan wonder if she's going to heaven. She promises that she'll never forget him before bidding him farewell. With tears in his eyes, he waves goodbye and wishes that she has a better life in another world. However, her ascent pauses, and she hovers in the air for quite some time that Lan starts to get worried. He comes near and tries to converse with her, when she suddenly starts falling. Xiaomin's foot hits Lan's face, causing him a massive nosebleed, and later becomes conscious of the fact that she's sitting on his face. Scrambling up, Xiaomin worriedly asks Lan if he's alright. She helps him up while he asks her what happened. Xiaomin says that somebody asked her for a toll fee. As she had no money, they chased her away, so she came back. Lan is astounded to hear that you need to pay to get to heaven, and asks her to whom will she be paying the fees. She answers that it's the Kidian, a big company that serves the earth, spirit realm, and the heavens, who currently monopolize the only channel for spirits to get to heaven. If spirits are unable to pay, the Kidian leaves them on earth to suffer, even if they were to lose their soul. All the information he's suddenly hearing is making Lan dizzy, especially since he still has a fever. Xiaomin asks him if he means what he said earlier, that he would protect her. At her expectant face, Lan boldly says yes, before inquiring why she's suddenly asking him that. She then requests that he pay the toll fee so she can get to heaven, which is worth 50 million Earth currency. Lan is shocked at how expensive the fee is and tells her he doesn't have that amount of money as he's only a high school student. She tells him not to worry as money on Earth when converted to the currency of the spirit realm or Kidians doesn't amount to much, and she's also going to help him earn the money. She gifts him her spirit weapon, saying that it's like a magical treasure as mortals can't see it, and it can capture any target without fail. Selling it to a mage will also earn him quite a bit. Lan then comments that Xiaomin is different from before, while thinking inwardly about how she seemed so cute and naive after they separated from her ghost body. She replies that she recovered her body in the beam, but it'll only last for a few minutes, and soon enough, she's floating again. While Lan still thinks she's different from before she went into the beam, Xiaomin dissolves into smoke and says she's going to rest in the rope to recover her power. She wishes him good luck in making money before going to sleep. Lan curses Xiaomin as she didn't even help him get to a clinic. He wakes up Yu to ask her for help, but she screams, thinking he's a ghost. He quickly introduces himself to make her stop screaming. Confused, she asks him if he saw other people besides her, and Lan lies, knowing she meant the headmaster. When he asks her what she's doing on the ground, she too lies, saying she fell asleep after getting some fresh air. When he notices he's not wearing pants, she screams, thinking he has bad intention. Lan quickly explains that it's because he has a fever and was rushing to the clinic, but she's still suspicious. Behind her, he spots the ghost with a knife on his head lurking around the corner. Lan gets worried that the ghost isn't leaving him alone, and without Xiaomin, he's helpless against him. In the meantime, he decides to avoid the specter. He pleads for Yu to help him get to the clinic, and after sighing, she relents. At the clinic, Lan lies in bed with fluids attached to him. He notices that Yu looks worried about the headmaster, which he doesn't understand as he's a disgusting person. Eventually, she tells him she needs to return home as her son is alone. Lan implores her not to go into the forest as there are ghosts, but she merely berates him for believing in the supernatural. Still, she leaves, and Lan is annoyed that he was scolded when he's only thinking of her safety. He wonders if the knife ghost is lurking around somewhere before deciding to stop worrying about it and going to sleep. Later, he's woken up by Xiaomin, who informs him that something happened to the pretty store owner. The knife ghost who was following Lan went for her, and she fears that Yu might be in danger. Lan wants to chase the ghost, so he asks to possess Xiaomin, but she refuses, saying she can't be seen during daylight. She quickly goes inside her rope, leaving Lan fuming at the unfairness as he is no match for Spirit. Later, Lan goes to the store and peeks inside. He sees Yu with a dark aura, and even Xiaomin comments that she doesn't seem to be acting normal and recommends bringing her to the sunlight. He takes a picture of her first as proof, and Xiaomin blushes when he deposits his phone in his boxer. Lan enters the store, pulling the shutters up so that sunlight will come inside. Creepily, Yu asks him if he wants to buy something, which makes Lan convinced that she's been possessed. When he tries to open the window with the excuse of letting fresh air come inside, the woman screams. Growling and animalistic, she attacks him, but Lan, much to his surprise, easily stops her. Yu's strength is nothing compared to his. Xiaomin reminds him that he's incredibly strong and tells him that it's his chance to get Yu under the sun. He grabs her waist, dragging her toward the light, where Yu screams.